Glad to have you here with us on the Retirement Key with financial advisor Abe Abich, founder of Abich Financial Services, where they are here, the entire team, to help you better understand your money that you've worked so hard to earn and save. Now, how do you make it work for you in your retirement? You got to create those income streams. You got to add layers of protection, de-risk. Also, lots of investment options and opportunities in our retirement years that it's not that we didn't have them in our working years. We just have better use for them in our retirement years.
Sure.
Than like who needs an annuity when you're working? You don't.
Right.
You have your job for your income streams.
Sure.
So let's talk about how we keep ourselves in the game, quite literally, and analyzing. I mean, is LeBron? Is he the greatest basketball player? Listen, don't come for me, Jordan fans. Do not come for me.
Hey, Michael Jordan was my favorite athlete.
Listen, I know.
He was my idol growing up,
I know. And then, of course, the Kobe was obviously just such an incredible influence on the game.
Yep.
So, again, don't come for me, Kobe fans. Rest in peace. But there's just no doubt. Because what's funny to me is we were getting ready to talk about the story, and I was reading. We have been talking about LeBron as a player in the NBA for so long. I was surprised. I mean, of course, he's a professional athlete. Most professional athletes don't go into their career in their 40s. So he's just getting ready to turn 40 next month. And I was like, he's only 40 because we've been talking about him, I feel like, for 20 years.
I know. Yeah.
So now here he is. But he's still just as relevant to the game. You and I talk a lot about baseball and football. I didn't know how much of an NBA fan you are.
Yeah, not the biggest fan. I just don't follow basketball nearly as much.
Right.
However,
Right.
I know,
Got to know LeBron.
Yeah, of course. And now his son's playing with him, I believe.
That's the coolest thing, right?
Yeah,
LeBron and Bronny
kind of
on the court together.
That's kind of when you know you're an old player, as your son's playing on the same team. But hey, 20 years in any professional sports league is just something else, quite a feat. Yeah. And he's definitely will go down as, if not the greatest, I'm sure one of the top few.
Just one of the top
ever.
Yeah. What you have to admire about him is how relevant he still is at the age of 40 as a professional athlete.
Sure.
It's not just physical strength, it's mental strength.
No, it's
as
not
well.
like he's riding the bench. He's playing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he's doing so because he's smart about it. He realizes that in order for him to keep up with these younger, stronger players, that he has got to devote, he can't avoid the age game. He's got to devote a lot to his health regimen. And that includes, he has an entire team of experts and advanced treatments like hyperbaric therapy and cryotherapy. These are things, actually, if you don't know Abe Abich that well, Abe Abich, for some reason or another, likes to do things like climb mountains and before the cold plunging, you climb the mountains and then you run the marathons. And then I'm talking to you on the phone and you're like, hey, I got to get in the cold plunge. And I'm like, what is happening? Why do you torture yourself this way?
I got the itch and I love it now. And I'm hoping that it's keeping me
style
young.
About you.
Yeah. I think it's keeping me young.
I think so. You're doing great. And listen, you and LeBron both doing great. So who am I to criticize? But here's the thing. Apparently, all of LeBron's health regimen tallies up to a total of $1.5 million a year that he is putting towards this.
Yeah.
King James himself was talking about it on Netflix's Starting Five.
I've heard this crazy notion about how much money I spend on my body per year. And I kind of just chuckle. That is a number that I will not disclose. But more importantly, I think it's just the time.
The time, yes, to devote. Also, when you're worth as much money, it's about percentage, right? Like for the rest of us that make, however much we make, you do the percentage correlation, and I'm sure you're doing just fine. I was saying, he's smart. He has awareness, number one. And number two, the willingness to seek out help from people that can teach him the things that he does not know himself. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you about. The idea of working with an expert, leaning onto somebody to help you continue to perform at a high level, how it works for folks. So we talk about this all the time. Folks that come to you, they have won the game. They have earned and saved $2, $3, $5, $10 million.
Yep.
And now they're here at your doorstep because they have that awareness. They know they need to come to you for the guidance to maximize performance and add protection to their savings for retirement.
Yes.
Let's talk about how you help folks do that.
Sure. Well, Most people, Heather, need help transitioning from that phase 1 approach to phase 2, their working career into retirement. And by the way, your health is your wealth, right? Your health is your wealth. I mean, if you're not healthy, then that's going to be tougher than if you were healthy. So you really want to stay on top of that. Obviously, people come down with conditions, and sometimes you can't help that. Sometimes you go to the doctor religiously, and you still come down with a condition. But man, if you can help it, you want to stay on top of that. Your weight and what you eat and all that. Your health is your wealth. So, so when it comes to protecting retirement, people need to start having this mindset change and shift and switch from just pure pedal to the metal and investing like they were when they were 30 and 40 to now, okay, Abe and Heather and the team, I now have 3 million. Wow. And I'm 60 and, I can take Social Security in 2 years. I can hop on Medicare in 5 years. And I've got 3, 4, 5 million or whatever, it is that someone has saved. And it's typically in that range of an amount of money that we see oftentimes. But what I don't know how to do, Abe and the team, is to protect it, is to turn it into income, is to make it last the next 30 to 40 years of my life. Why? Well, less than 10% of our entire industry helps people with this phase of retirement. Over 90% of our industry helps people grow it, accumulate it, invest it. That's all fine. Those are the big firms. Sometimes we mention on the show a lot, oftentimes, the biggest firms, the firms you've heard of, the firms that advertise everywhere, the Fidelities, the Vanguards, the Edelmans, the Fishers are huge monster national firms that usually have good names. They're helping Americans get to retirement.
Yeah.
But the same strategies that helped you or someone get to retirement need to change. And there need to be a lot of add-ons when you get to that point of retirement where you actually have enough money to retire with dignity and confidence. Because if you continue to invest like you were when you were 30, 40, and 50, you're going to get burned. Your working paychecks are going to end. You don't want to be carrying a ton of risk as you head into retirement.
Right.
You want to start de-risking. You're older now. You're 60. You're going to need income from the portfolio. Your working paycheck has stopped.
Yeah.
You're thinking about living 30 to 40 more years.
Yeah.
Your parents may be in a nursing home, may need in-home care, right? So you're kind of seeing that our clients are sandwiched in between taking care of their own parents and taking care of the kids that are kind of either still in the house or just left the house.
Yeah.
Grandkids are sandwiched right in the middle of these two generations. So they know it firsthand.
Yeah.
Their parents or grandparents that have needed care. They're thinking about the care they may need. They're thinking about the income they're going to need and want. They're thinking about living another 30 to 40 years. I got to get this money to last, so I need to continue to grow it. They're thinking about taxes and inflation and all the risks now. Now that they've gotten to this point where they have several $1 million saved, you start to think differently. What's going to mess this up? Like, what can ruin this? You're not thinking that way when you're 30, 40, and 50. You're thinking pure growth. Let me get to the number. Let me just get to the point where I'm 60. I can take Social Security. I can hop on Medicare, and I can be there. And our clients come to us, Heather, with these amounts, great amounts of money saved, and they're saying, "Hey, I'm tired, or I just got laid off, or I don't have much joy anymore for the line of work that I'm in. I want to see my grandkids more. I want to golf more. I just want to get out and golf more. I want to watch sports more. I want to fish more. I want to boat more." And one of the biggest joys that I have and our firm has is getting people to retire sooner than they thought they could.
Yes.
So
or at least the knowledge that they can, right?
Yeah, or the knowledge that they can.
How empowered are you when the next day you go back to work going, I could leave when I want to?
Yeah, if they continue to work, fine, but we can get them retired sooner. One of my greatest joys, one of our firm's greatest joys. Yeah. So the mindset's got to change, and then you got to start building in all these layers of protection around your life savings. It's not just from the markets, it's from taxes and inflation and healthcare and sequence risk. And there's a lot out there, but you want to chip away at it a little bit at a time. Yeah. Working with a financial professional, a fiduciary retirement planner 4 times per year is what we offer to our clients. We can really stay on top of things. Yep. Like LeBron, I'm sure he's seeing people all the time for his health. He's staying on top of it. He's in peak shape at 40, playing with guys that are half of his age in the league.
If not younger.
What's that?
If not younger. Some of these guys that go in the league with 17, 18 years old.
That's right. Yeah. And so you can create that same type of retirement, if you compare it to LeBron and his success in the league, you can create that same type of retirement where you're continuing to have a lot of fun, but you're still doing really well, right? And so you're making good money in the markets, but you're protecting it too. What does that allow you to do? Go about and live your life without thinking and worry about money very much. That's an ideal retirement.
That's exactly what you want in retirement. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the ways that we help clients start to protect their life savings, kind of think about things differently, and put together a plan to get them across the threshold into retirement.
To descend down the mountain. Let's talk about your book real quick. The Retirement Mountain, the 7 Steps to a Long-Lasting Retirement. I feel like you've been working on it as long as I've known you. It took you a couple of years to write this all down. But the good news is it only takes a couple hours to read. It's only about 100 pages long. And you go through the philosophy that you share with every person at Abich Financial Services in this book, the idea of, listen, all of us go through our working years. We get to retirement. Maybe you've sought out financial advice, but so few of us, we've talked about the financial literacy crisis in this country. People just have no idea what to do when they get to a certain point. And it's just such a sad state for so many smart people that have gotten to this place. You deserve to have this knowledge.
Especially transitioning into phase 2. Your glory years into retirement. There's just such little advice and guidance out there on it. Matter of fact, in the DC metro area, just a few firms that really, really do a good job. And I believe we're one of those firms. Where, again, most of the industry is focused on growth and accumulation and your investment allocation and all that. And while that's important, so are all the other pieces to the plan. So I wrote the book to act as a guide, right? With us kind of as a Sherpa along the way for you, along the way with you, as you're descending down your own retirement mountain into retirement. That guide with so many things to look out for should be able to help you, protect against all the risks, help you to think about how to protect against all the risks that can foul up a great plan in retirement.
Helping you to avoid doing those mistakes, avoiding those risks, and working to add layers of security to your plan. TheRetirementKey.com is where you can go. Click on the media tab, and there is a option to choose book right there in that drop-down menu, and that's where you can learn more about how to get the book yourself on Amazon. We also have an option for you to receive a digital copy. If you come in for an appointment, we will give you a free hard copy of the book. So lots of ways for you to acquire this information and education for yourself and your own consumption. We also have links for that posted in the show notes if you just want to click there. Again, find all this and more. We're ready to help you get started on this conversation. Visit us at TheRetirementKey.com.